smells.
Welcome back to SJU. As I try to figure out what this drink tastes like, I'm not successful today. We have this might be, and this is really saying something, the strangest SJU we have ever prepared for you guys. Yes, we are going to be talking about Netflix spending all of the money when they're in all of the debt and what is happening there. Also, I'm going to learn about controlling weather with your mind. So there's that, because why not? And we're all declaring trial by combat on today's episode.
That's right.
Partially true, partially not. In studio today, Emma Fyffe in the house.
Hello. It's great to be here on this Friday, but Monday for you.
Oh, yes. They're starting off the week. It's a big day.
With whatever this is going to be.
Yeah, exactly. Monday, everyone. Wow. It's going to be a great week. I can feel it in my little bird bones. The gritty one, Vanessa Gritton.
Hey, super psyched to be here. I can make it rain with my brain.
You can?
We're going to get into it.
I don't know. Okay, I'm curious because so many thoughts. Joe Starr, we don't do this show together enough.
We don't. Roxy, this episode is what happens when Ryan and I suddenly go, oh, we have to do a pre-tape.
Yes.
This one happens.
Well, just so many.
You may or may not like it.
I think that they will because optimism.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going with this.
Yeah, we can control your attitudes with our brains by having a positive attitude ourselves.
That's right.
It's very, very true.
My nose just starts bleeding.
Guys, so let's get right into this because Netflix is confusing as heck to most of us out there. Also, I don't think I've said heck since 1994, so it sounded very weird coming out of my mouth. They are spending all of the money. I feel like every other day we're reporting on the fact that they are super duper bankrupt and then they are spenders bigger than anybody else. But they could reach a spending of $17 billion. That is billion with a B. This is according to Variety. The streamer will invest around $17.3 billion this year in content on a cash basis, according to a new forecast by Wall Street firm BMO Capital Markets. That's up from $15.3 billion in 2019, which still a pretty large number, if you ask me. Just pocket change. Maybe I could pay my rent with that.
Yeah.
And Netflix is not expected to ease up anytime soon. Its content spending will top $26 billion.
It's a lot of money, Roxy Striar.
By 2028. $26 billion. Aren't people starving in this country and this planet? Okay, so it's a lot.
Is that what this show's about? Hard right?
No, it's not. It's about the fact that, honestly, everything. I love Netflix. I love their content, and I hope they keep spending their money on original pieces and whatnot. This seems like a huge, huge number, but just right off the bat, Emma, how are you feeling about hearing $17 billion this year and $26 billion 2028?
I mean, when you consider the number of original series that Netflix puts out, as well as the number of films, TV shows, whatnot, that they acquisition in order to have on their streaming platform, this number is not surprising to me by any stretch of the imagination. That being said, it is a little alarming when you think about like the national deficit and things like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's this double-edged sword though of, is there a scenario wherein I think Netflix might be doing too much original content? Yeah, I do, especially because I feel like a lot of their original content comes out with very little marketing attached to it. New seasons of ongoing series drop constantly without any sort of announcement that they're going to be coming out unless the individual creators are promoting them. However, I do like that Netflix is affording so many creators the opportunity to do something that is maybe a little bit more interesting and is allowed to at least have a whole season and a bit more longevity than something that, say, is on a TV network where you have to make those numbers right away or you're done.
Yeah.
The gritty one?
I I mean, the idea of spending money when you're deeply in debt is not a foreign concept to me. But like,
Ditto.
cool. But like, looking at future numbers, this makes sense because so much of the retained viewership of Netflix is built on their original content. And looking down the line at how many streaming services have bought piecemeal so many of like their mainstays, like your Office and your Friends, and the fact that those down the line are going to be disappearing, they're looking into like building up something that has more longevity in the long run. Longevity in the long run? Yeah.
Yeah, long
run longevity.
Totally.
Yeah.
Joe, how are you feeling about this?
Well, I think the challenge for Netflix, right, is I think leaning more heavily into original content, but also localized content seems to be a big strategy for them. Because you guys are absolutely right. As the peacocks and the I don't know whatever birds folks are naming streaming wars, they're really leaning into the peacock. Like I didn't expect the peacock to actually be a thing, like a character that would be like, I just hatched. Watch my stuff. That was weird to me.
Yeah, that egg birthing was.
Yeah, that was so.
It was something.
Yeah. God. Okay. Yeah.
Can't unsee
It's like I recognize Colonel Sanders. I don't need to see Colonel Sanders like fall out of his mother and be like, try my chicken. Anyway, I think
That's a very fair comparison. Yeah.
That said, everyone's shoring up, everyone's drawing those battle lines, and acquired licensed content is going to become less and less of a thing as everyone starts trying to pull their stuff back. That's an interesting thing we're seeing right now with like, stuff like your Harry Potters, where HBO Max won't see them until 2025. That's insane.
Yeah.
So I think that the key for Netflix right now is original and localized, and really at the end of the day, is that original content, is that localized content just keeping you staring at Netflix? Because that's the goal, is just time spent engaged is what's gonna bring value back on this investment. It's not about, will this show get them like 1 million new subscribers? It's about, hey, will the existing subscribers keep staring at Nailed It Indonesia, or Nailed It South Korea, or Nailed It Montreal, Quebec, Canada? They're getting very specific. As opposed to hopping over to Disney Plus.
Sure. Yeah, it is. It'll be interesting to see because, as you say, I think that there is a level with any of these streaming services, and Netflix in particular, because it has been in this streaming game for as long as it has been. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about subscription services, and some of the drive behind them is having enough on there to make people forget that they didn't really watch Netflix this month, so they don't actively think, oh, maybe I should cancel that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that. When I look at this money, we have to think about where it's going, right?
Yeah.
I just hope that, yes, we are bringing in those big hitters, like, creators of Game of Thrones, people that we're gonna have pay the big bucks to.
Sure.
But I hope that they spend some of that money and really pay all of their creators very well. Because the people who are just getting their start, or the people who don't have as many projects, those are the people that Netflix seems to bring on sometimes and give their first chance, and probably not pay as well because they don't have to. And I hope that if they are planning on spending this much money, yes, it's for the big wigs, but it's also to keep their creators happy and get in some awesome new people, bring in some diversity, pay people what they're worth. I think that would be really cool, and I would think that it would go a long way if Netflix kind of talked to us, not that they have to, but a little bit about their strategy with that money, like what they're intending to do, and about sets and what they want to do for us, and how they want to use their money to really treat people well and make a great experience for the viewers.
Well, like, kind of jumping on what you said, so much of the way studios buy shows from creators now is starting to become a little bit antithetical to the creative process. Like, I think it was Warner Brothers that was beta testing this software that will figure out how profitable something is based on just numbers and how much it's like attached to like a name that's already recognized, and it strips away a lot of the human element of is this going to be interesting, is this going to be compelling, telling? Is this going to be something that really like supports a creative process, or does it just become, what are you bringing into the table that is a numbers game? And that's it's killing industry.
Well,
And
the interesting thing about that is they've always done that.
Yes.
Right.
Always.
That was I mentioned this a lot. Working at Warner Brothers, that was part of my job, was assembling those spreadsheets that were like, here's the average sum of money that maybe, like, there was a top sheet on these reports.
But at least part of that was at least like bringing people into a room sometimes and screen testing things. Like,
Oh, well, those things aren't going away.
Yeah, but that'll
never go away.
That's the human element, right?
But
what made them laugh?
Well, my thought here is to sort of go off what both you guys are saying about the human element and sort of attaching dollar amounts to supposed worth for creators. Is if I was a Netflix employee, I would absolutely be that nerd that like points at nothings that jump up and become huge hits, Stranger Things, stuff like that, and just be like, see, let's head more in that direction, because I think I'm curious to see how much longer they keep dropping huge price tags on creators.
Sure.
They spend so much money on Ryan Murphy. The Politician, I think, based on the price that they have paid for it, is a flop.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
So someone at Netflix hoped The Politician was going to be their next big breakout, Orange is the New Black piece of prestige TV. Absolutely, I don't think was. It made like a tiny dent in the award season, that kind of thing. If it was a business as, and Ryan Murphy was still an unknown and they had thrown him some starter bucks, I think that would be an investment you're satisfied with.
Yeah.
But oh my God, they're spending so much money on people. You already see them starting to pull back on stand-ups. There was that year where just all the
all the stand-up specials.
Or they're pulling back on some stand-ups and then they're throwing $30 million at other stand-ups.
True.
Sure.
But I think even that will start to taper back, and I think a lot of that is just, okay, let's try this strategy. Can stand-up comedy get people? Can an hour-long stand-up special, are people going to sit and watch the whole hour-long stand-up special? And to me, in my common sense, I'm like, yes, I'm sitting down to watch something. It's going to take a lot for me to just like stop watching it. But we might be a minority.
Also, the way that Netflix counts their numbers, and I know we did a whole conversation on SJU about this before, and the way that they calculate based on length of viewership, and so there are some numbers that are a little fudged, and I don't know if those series are paying extra money to be in the automatically plays next spot, or if that's a Netflix marketing strategy. I genuinely don't know the answer, but there are things that are getting these, because I remember for some time there was a like nature documentary or something that every time I finished a series, totally unrelated to that, if I was at the end of it and there wasn't a next episode, it would
put you
automatically
on the nature.
Exactly.
Planet Earth.
So it's it's a super weird model.
I completely agree, and I think that is like kind of their form of marketing, but I hope that some of this money goes more towards letting us know when our shows are coming back, because like I opened my Netflix, opened my Netflix this week. And,
you sure did, Mom.
And thank you. And Grace and Frankie had dropped a new season, and I was like, it's already out, dude.
What?
It dropped on the 15th, and
Why
I was
are you
like,
here?
No, I'm like, I'm 8 episods in right now because I happened to catch it, but I was like, I would have planned my week around this.
Sure,
How are you going to just drop that? I had no idea you were coming back. And then like randomly stumbled upon, did you guys ever watch Dead to Me?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love Dead to Me.
So my sister was like, you
Holy
should watch this.
moly.
Apparently it came out months ago. I finally watched it. Yo, that show was awesome.
Unbelievable.
Christina Applegate, Elena Cardellini.
Yeah.
Like,
If you guys have not watched Dead to Me, pause this SJU, go watch all of it right now.
it was so
Fine with that.
Unbelievable.
Fine with that. And we're desperate for views to survive.
yeah.
But I think you should go watch Dead
if
to Me.
you
I
do
really
pause us, then come back to us, please, because we really need your viewership.
Yes.
But yes, Dead to Me was so good. But just the fact that I consider myself like the TV junkie. Like I watch everything. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah. I lucked out with that one because for whatever reason, I saw a Netflix ad for it before something, and I went, oh, Christina Applegate, Linda Cardellini, this looks great. And I was not wrong. It was fantastic.
I haven't seen one billboard, one thing. So, like, with your $17.3 billion, do try to find a way. This is not my genius, because not marketing, but to make me aware of, like, what the products are that I should be watching.
Yeah, it's super interesting because, I mean, and then you also get into the territory of, with Netflix, things that are based on an existing IP. So I think for something like a Dark Crystal or a Witcher, which are based on stuff that already exists.
We knew they were coming.
We knew they were coming because but I wonder if these were just original fantasy tale with puppets, would it have had that kind of marketing? I don't think so.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, I think across platforms, there's going to be that problem more and more. Because especially if, like, folks at this table, like, it's literally our job to be, like, lasered on this stuff, are having a hard time, like, noticing when things drop, when things launch. Hey, what's that? It's, like, very overwhelming. My dad just realized there was a Bosch TV show. He loves those books. He loves those books. Amazon Prime, the streaming service for dads, specifically my dad. But like he was like, it's been on for 5 years. I had no idea. Those are people that you really want to be able to figure out and cater to. And if you're not, that's the reason you have these streaming services is to collect everyone's information to sell to advertisers. So, you're also supposed to be catering to their experience. Like, once you realize that Larry Starr is going to watch Jack Reacher every other day, you should have Bosch, like, at the top of his Amazon Prime. Same with Netflix. Like, I think they could be doing a lot better job of informing you on what all this stuff is.
So we love your content, Netflix. You got a lot of money. Let's see you use it. Sure.
Spend it wisely.
Yeah, there's that. Go Netflix. Well, let's talk about something else that I'm going to be very articulate with. Guys, this is something that I am super curious about, but have no idea what is going on. But I'm excited because Kim Taylor Foster is like one of my favorite people at Fandom. I mean, I think she's just like awesome. And she interviewed a psychic expert talking about this phenomenon that we're going to talk about today a little bit. You guys were telling me about Weathering with You, which is the following up to your name, which I also didn't know about.
Yes.
But now I've got a lot of deep diving to do. But basically, it's a boy meets girl. Girl can change the weather with her mind story.
Thank you, Fyffe.
That's like pretty on brand for Makoto Shinkai, the director, because he tends to tell these very personal little stories, but then adds in a sort of supernatural element.
So what's happening here, Joe? Is this based on is this based on truth? Is this based on what? Like, tell me more.
It's based on absolute scientifically proven truth.
I knew it.
So there is a psychic ability that's called atmokinesis, and Kim Taylor Foster interviewed. So this article's on Fandom.com. So the article's in the description of the video below, which the incredible Ryan O'Toole, who this week I'm not even
you don't have to compliment him this week.
obligated to compliment you. Yeah. Like, that's how just into you I am, my dear friend.
Rock on, Ryan. He hit the bell. He hit a really soft
sweetest
bell.
ding.
I didn't even hear it.
That because it wasn't a bell. It was right here. So Kim interviewed a psychic expert. It's a very weird article, and Kim, just in terms of tone, is the driest.
I think she's so great.
So I was cracking up reading the article, which is why I really wanted to shout it out. So yeah, there is this ability called atmokinesis. She gets into it with this psychic expert. It gets really bonkers. And so again, when Ryan and I realized we had 4 minutes to plan a pre-tape, we just thought that this would be a fun way to dovetail into making you guys talk about times you saw ghosts and stuff.
Yay!
Oh man.
This is so, like, it's creepy, and you guys know I'm afraid of this stuff, but
Roxy, do you believe in things?
No, I don't believe in anything, but also, like, I can't deny the fact that when I come home every single night, I check under my couch, I check in my washer and my dryer, I look under my bed, I check behind my curtain. Like, I don't know what could be there. I shower with the curtain open. I do not, like, I cannot take my eyes off of the world because you don't know.
You don't.
You don't know. You don't know, Joe. Yeah, I'm like freaked out by the planet. Just like because you don't know what. I mean it. Like we don't know.
Yeah.
And anybody who claims they do know, you don't. And that's whatever. Emma, go ahead. So tell me your ghost stories, but then like put an asterisk and pretend it's not true.
I'm freaked out by the planet. Roxy Striar.
I am.
So when I was a kid, we at one of our ice cream shops. This is pre the craze of blind box days, but it was the predecessor to that. Basically, was. Do you guys remember Puppy in My Pocket?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
No. What?
So
you guys know so many things
they
I
were
don't.
like these little rubber dogs.
Yeah.
And so my friend
in your pocket.
My friend Mandy and I used to
it's like
collect
pet
them. We
rock.
both had big collections of them. We kept them in these drawstring bags that my mom made. So my friend Mandy lived in an older house, and we were like playing with our Puppy in My Pockets, and we started to notice that they were disappearing and showing up in weird places, like in the piano bench, or in the Playmobil dollhouse, or like on top of the mirror at the vanity at her dresser. So we're like, this is really weird. So we decided to test a theory to see if it was ghosts that were moving them around. So it was only the kids playing in the house, the two of us, her two brothers and my brother. So we all, we basically set all the little Puppy in My Pockets out on the floor in Mandy's room. And we went into Jack and Nick's room, and we all held hands to make sure nobody was leaving the circle. And we asked the spirits to hide specific puppies because they all had names in specific locations, and they did. And then we're like, okay, we're gonna take this a step further. So Mandy and I mixed up all of our puppies together on the floor, and we had two separate drawstring bags that were different colors, so we knew whose was whose. And we're like, all right, we want you to sort them and put them in the correct bags. And so again,
close your eyes.
We were in another room.
Okay.
But the only people that were in the house were us, the kids, and we all held hands with each other, so we knew no one was leaving.
Do you feel like this is real?
Yes, I do. And we went back, and they were sorted perfectly.
You guys got very pushy with your ghosts.
Listen, we were really
It's not nice to
tested.
tell them
These
what to
menial
do.
tasks,
Yeah.
spirit.
Whatever, that's what they were doing. They were just stealing things and putting them in fun places. So
I'm so freaked out, but at least I was a friendly ghost.
they were very friendly.
Honestly,
yes.
though, if I was the ghost, I'd be pissed at you and mess with you. I'd be like, I'm better than this. I don't need to sort your stuff.
No, they wanted us to like them, I think. So
Gritty one. Any ghosts?
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm so sorry. I can tell one that's a little bit less creepy.
Creepy.
On the flip side of the coin, I am also terrified of the world, but I love it. I seek out what freaks me out, and I don't know why. I think my brain's broken. It must be liquid. But I've actually
liquid.
Oh no,
Your brain is liquid.
I'm joking that my brain is liquid or smooth. I'm just I don't know why. If something freaks me out, I chase it like a pebble.
That flips me out too. Just the thought of a liquid brain. No.
I know.
No.
So I've been ghost hunting a few times because it fascinates me.
What does that mean?
And
yeah, that's cool.
No. No.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead. Tell me your ghost story.
So is anybody here familiar with the Cecil Hotel?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so the Cecil Hotel is one of the most haunted places in Los Angeles.
Okay.
It has a very, very long fatality list. Maybe of the places in Los Angeles, one of the longest. Just to give you an idea, 3 different LA serial killers have stayed there.
Oh wait, yes, I do know this hotel.
Last sighting of the Black Dahlia.
Yeah. I know the hotel you're talking about now.
They're
Yep.
trying to rebrand it as a little fun hostel, which is a terrible idea.
That's a horrible
Yeah, that's
idea.
awful.
What?
Yeah, they're trying
That just
to-
sounds like a murder hotel.
Yep. If you ever look up the Cecil Hotel and then you look up that list, I'm sorry. But it was one of the places where on one ghost hunting expedition that I joined someone on went to. And we had the different little monitors and stuff, and we walked around the outside. I didn't want to go inside because choices. And so we mostly just kind of walked around the outside, and we had one of those where you can listen back to sounds. And I'm so sorry. We had one of those where you can listen back to sounds. And there were actually like 3 words that we heard like pretty loud and clear on the listen back where we'd ask questions and like try and hear something. And it wasn't like a rumbling that can be. They were words.
Dang.
And there was 2, and one was a first name, and then the other one was the word sidewalk. And I was like, interesting. And because the Cecil has a public record of everything that happened there was someone in the spot that we were standing in when we like asked that question on that exact spot that had perished on the sidewalk, and we looked up the first name, and it was that person's name.
Don't you think somebody's saying that?
And on that sidewalk, a small drawstring bag
Full of puppy in my pocket.
I don't like any of you. Fine, Joe. What, Joe?
Well, Roxy.
What?
I don't believe in things.
Good.
But except this one time. So between semesters in college, I would go do like theater jobs, and then because I'm me, I would do things like forget to find a place to live until I got back to town and went, I have to find a place to live.
In your college town?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'd finish a gig and like get back and be like,
where am I staying?
oops, I'm a child.
Home.
This is why you get married, folks, so that someone fixes you.
That's not a reason to get married.
It's a good reason for me to get married. Step 1, Joe, you need a place to live. So this lady in the theater department was like, who rented a house, was like, well, you can stay in our basement for a while until you find a home, you moron.
Oh, go to basement.
And I was like, yay! And it was the creepiest basement. Just aesthetically, it was. If you just close your eyes and you're like, what basement should Annabelle for the basement take place in?
Joe.
Like that
Chill
was
out.
the basement.
Chill.
And so to make it worse, they set up very sweetly attempted to they set up like a cot for me and a little space for me, and then like hung curtains around it. But then that was worse because then the curtains would blow around and do creepy things.
Blow around in a basement?
And also there was a door at the far end of the basement with a giant padlock on it that just was never open, and that never felt good. And there were just always birds in the house when I was there.
In the house?
Yes, not like they had pet birds, but there would just be like a crow walking around on the steps.
A crow?
Yeah, it was a weird.
I'm sorry.
A lot of weird juju in that house. It was weird. Yeah.
But
it was bad.
I don't even care about you guys.
Did you ever hear?
And their bathrooms were carpeted.
Oh God.
Ew.
Not really related, but like
gross.
I don't think you should do that.
I don't think you should do that either. I don't think any of you guys should do any of the things you do. Fine, let's move on. I'm done with you. Whatever. Check out Kim Taylor Foster's interview, fandom.com.
I didn't think that this was gonna happen.
Here's the deal. Like I told you, I already am scared all the time.
I have never wanted to start a ghost hunting show where I just take Roxy places as bad as I do now.
I just like don't. I'm afraid of like alive people too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like
You should be afraid of alive people. That's legit.
Like I don't know that the ghosts are worse than the alive people. I just like know that if you're a ghost and like you're coming to me, there's probably something you want to say or do, and like I don't want that.
Got it.
They just want to make pottery with me more.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I feel like
that's hot.
That one's hot.
That's hot.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Spectrophilia.
I feel like I only. This is it's gonna be a really weird statement.
Oh no.
Because based on other ghost experiences I've had, I attract very helpful spirits.
I don't think I would or do.
We wigged out Roxy.
Let us know all your ghost stories in the comments below. This will be the one group of comments I do not read. Everybody else will, though. Thank you guys so much for being here. I like you a lot better than this panel right now and the people who plan to scare the crap out of me today. So thumbs up. Maybe we'll say more nice things about Ryan, or like maybe about me next time so I don't have to deal with this anymore. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell. That was a better bell hit.
The crazy thing is Ryan left hours ago.
It's just like so rude. So rude what you guys are doing. Oh, and it did the thing. Whatever. I don't even care about you. There's other amazing content here, less spooky content. Charting with Dan. It will be back Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Technically, tomorrow. Check out Charting with Dan. Dan didn't do this to me, so we appreciate and support Dan.
Dan died in 1842.
It's not true. It's not true. Nah, Never Surrender is available now. Support the parts of it that the people who weren't at this table made. Check out the links in the description below. If you haven't watched Never Surrender yet, seriously, what are you actually doing? And then even better than ghosts, there's actually real life monstrosities going on right now. Things that are horrible on this planet, and we can't do much to stop the ghosts, but we definitely can do something to stop this, guys. We are vetting all of these links so that you don't have to. I know it's very overwhelming what's going on in Australia with the wildfires, but this is all of our planet, and we need to do whatever we can to help. So there are links in the description for the entire month of January where you guys can share some support and donate to the Australian wildfires. Make sure you go do that. And if I do ever find any links to combat the ghosts, we'll be putting those in the links to below as well. But this one we actually can do something about. So everyone check out those links. And continuing with scary things, guys. This last story, this is what I'm saying. People scare me more than ghosts. Joe, a man is requesting trial by combat. Can you tell me more?
I absolutely can, Roxy.
Why and how, and who is this man?
So, we're gonna tell the story. Oh, look at this guy.
Absolutely a trial by combat kind of guy.
That shocks me.
Roth had noticed that we only do funsies when Roth isn't hosting. And so I was like, oh, well, that's not true. But she was like, it is. And so I was like, well, we'll make sure we do some funsies. So we were going to do this story on Thursday when we didn't have time to actually plan a show. But then we just didn't get to it.
So now we're talking about it on Monday.
Now we're doing it. Because, okay, so this guy... I love this story. This is via the Des Moines Register, how many episodes go by when we don't quote from the Des Moines Register?
So happy that I didn't say what this was, because that is that word. Oh, God. I was going to Des Moines Register.
You were going to Kentucky pronunciation?
I don't know how to say Des Moines. Des Moines.
If it was a county in Kentucky, it would be called Des Moines.
Des Moines.
Like Versailles, Kentucky.
Yeah. All right. So thank you to the Register.
So a Kansas man has asked an Iowa court to grant his motion for trial by combat so he can meet his ex-wife and her attorney on the field of battle, where he will rend their souls from their corporeal from their corporal bodies, and that's important. He said corporal.
Not corporeal. Bring us back to the ghosts.
So he claims, David Ostrom, 40, we can bring his picture back up, of Paola, Kansas, claims in court documents that his ex-wife has destroyed him legally. He has asked the Iowa District Court in Shelby County to give him 12 weeks lead time in order to source or forge katana and wakizashi swords, as first reported by the Carroll Times-Herald. To this day, trial by combat has never been explicitly banned or restricted as a right in these United States, he has argued in court records, adding that it was used as recently as 1818 in British court.
As very recently.
As recent.
1818.
So knowing that duels have not been abolished, Ostrom, who said he does not have any experience with sword fighting, doesn't anticipate that the judges, who have not yet ruled as of our reporting on this very important story, he wants an answer to his request. He says if his ex-wife's legal team is willing to meet him on the field of combat, he will meet them, as long as he has this lead time to forge a Japanese sword.
Yeah, so it's the lawyers he wants to fight by combat?
I think he wants to fight everyone.
Okay, so just to be clear, he wants to fight.
Yes.
He himself
would like to fight.
Okay.
In a trial by combat.
He also wants to forge his
own sword.
Oh, yeah.
Or just source one, maybe a Kickstarter for a katana sword.
You could ask the ghosts for it. Guys, quick show of hands. Who hopes that they grant him permission for trial by combat?
I mean, kinda.
Because I don't know what that says about all of us, but I just gotta know what happens. What does that look like?
favorite genre is of watching
This?
people who are like, let's go, you want to go, let's go, and then when the moment to go happens, they don't go.
Do you watch Floribama Shore? Because you should
that's
be.
my thing is I feel like even if they do grant him trial by combat, if it actually gets to that point,
There's no way.
over under on him actually going through with it.
100%
You know?
under. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way. That's why I want them to grant it, because I want him to feel like a silly little person.
Yeah, like here's a guarantee. Any person you ever meet in a public setting that will say the words "let's go" at you, chances are have their hands by their side, their chest and head forward, and truly do not know how to approach a "let's go" situation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guarantee this man has never swung a katana.
No.
Doesn't know how to like
Let me dispute that.
into a watermelon.
Let's bring his picture back up, because here's what surprises me about a need for lead time to find a sword. That guy has swords. That guy owns so many swords.
Quick question. What's on the other side of his hat? Like, what do you think it says? Like,
Probably a
what's
picture
the
of,
logo?
it says Sword Life.
Sword line.
Because that is a guy who collects swords. Like, that guy has some Sky Mall blades on a wall.
They're SkyMall blades, though. I don't know why it's important to note. There's SkyMall blades. Like the tang doesn't go all the way through the handle, so it's gonna snap off.
You don't think it's some kind of like derogatory slur or something that's on the other
I think
side
it
of his
might
hat?
be. Yeah.
I just
man.
picture something not good over there.
I mean, to some people, just calling someone a sword guy might be a slur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so I apologize to sword guys.
I was sad when you said Kansas man and the sentence didn't start Florida man. I was bummed by
Honestly,
that.
no. I think it's good. I think we should
I
spread the
do
wealth.
too.
We should
Yeah.
spread the wealth out of Florida a little bit. They get all the good stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
Like, this story is one of those things that makes me realize there's so many different people on the planet, and whenever I'm wondering like why I can't relate to some people or like who's typing things in the internet, I'm like, oh, like this dude.
I would
this
absolutely
dude.
watch this movie.
Same.
I would 100% watch this movie.
Oh, if they did like a docu, but not like a fictionalized.
Yeah, I don't want to watch the bum fights video of this guy
Right,
being
right,
beat up
right.
by a lawyer in a parking lot. I kind of do.
Also, what do you guys think happened?
Who is he going to fight specifically, though? Like, is it he and his wife have to duel? Is it he and his
taking on
wife's
everyone.
representation?
It seems like he wants to fight both of them, which is ridiculous. Like, why are you putting yourself in a 2-on-1 situation
yeah.
here, sir?
What do you guys think happened in 1818 that was the last trial by combat? What went down where they're like, yeah, we can't do this anymore?
1818. What sort of ended it? I don't know.
Because clearly that was the one that they were like, yeah, we gotta stop this.
Yeah, I feel like even by that point, I don't know, 1818, because I'm trying to think, and he was saying it was in the British courts,
Yeah.
so...
Weirdly, it was a guy with the same hat. Yeah.
Maybe
When
that's
I
what
shared
happened.
this story with Spencer, he said that this was the best possible sequel to Marriage Story, and I agree.
Yes.
I agree completely. This should be the next just ScarJo and Adam Driver playing these characters. I think would be really incredible.
Well, we promised you guys it would be a weird one, and weird it certainly was. Just thinking about it, I just looked back. I remembered how mad I am at you guys.
I just can't stop thinking about the ghost that's right behind you.
It's rude. It's rude.
It's a rude ghost.
No, you're rude. You're supposed to be my friend. But if you're not afraid, then you're an idiot. That's how I feel. If you're not afraid,
It's not that we're not afraid. It's just that we're afraid and we're fascinated by our own human psyche, so we want to push the envelope.
I'm not saying that that's not right. I'm just saying, if you're not afraid,
What if we got you a katana sword?
idiot, then I can
fight
fight the
ghosts.
ghosts. There's so much more to unpack here. I can't wait for our next time we have to do a pre-tape and we do part 2 of these ghost things. I'm gonna get you
What if
guys.
his ex-wife is Katana
From Mortal Kombat.
from Suicide Squad?
Either way would work. Emma Fyffe, because today is Monday, the people will see you all throughout the week.
They
But where can they keep up
will
with
see
you?
me all throughout the week. I'll be here on SJU again tomorrow. I'll be doing stuff on the internet. Just follow me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe. I tweet about what I'm doing usually.
With all of her friendly ghosts
Yep.
that she has acquired somehow. Rude. The Grit one.
You can find me on @NasGritton on all forms of social media, and every Thursday on El Rey Network, you can find find me on El Rey Nation, also telling upsetting ghost stories, because I, for some reason, always have one.
It's just like, what? Joe?
You can see me here, being very lucky to be able to do a show with you guys. It's super fun, and
That
I
was
appreciate
really
it.
cute, actually, so fine.
You're welcome.
Yeah, whatever. We be friends again, okay? I'm Roxy Striar. You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar. We'll be back tomorrow for SJU and for the rest of the week. Stay safe. Avoid the ghosts. If you're not afraid, you're a moron. Bye!